It's story time!
Hello and welcome to the Storytime Podcast, and this week I have with me my very first repeat guest.
Nice.
Yeah.
First one?
Only ever repeat guest.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
So this is Neil Houlihan. For those of you that didn't watch his first episode, please go back and watch it. You were on to talk to me before about insane travel stories.
Yeah.
They were pretty insane, in fairness. Tell people where to find you on the internet again.
You can find me on Instagram at YourHoolihaness and Twitter as well.
And this time, we're going to talk about our first time doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you did your first ever stand-up recently at Cherry Comedy after seeing me.
Inspiration.
And then you inspired me to go again because I was like, I'm done, I'm never doing it again. My second gig was terrible. And then I was like, after I saw you, I was like, no, I want another go. And now I'm like, mad for it.
How many times have you done it now?
3.
Oh, you did 3.
The third one was great, and now I'm like, I want to do it in 4.
Third one was awesome. It's got me to decide I want to do it again as well.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it another go.
And actually, our next one we're hoping to go together in Cherry Comedy in Waylands in Dublin. So I'll put that on my page when I hear back from them. But yeah, so let's share our stories of the first time doing stand up.
You did it first. You tell me how you even decided that you want to do it.
Well, I basically looked at it for ages, and I knew I wanted to do it for ages, but like it took me, I'd say more than a year to work up the courage. Like, it was kind of in the side of my mind going, I really want to do it, and then I just never got around to organising it. And then I think actually it was I think it was one of my New Year's resolutions, like in 2017. I was like, did you hear that?
Yeah, that was almost a fucking Theresa May moment there. The sign fall off behind us.
Please tell me the signs. I had to re-put it back up today. I hope that's not going to fall. But if it does, I apologise in advance.
That's alright. I'm insured.
Sitting out like this just so it doesn't hit us. But yeah, so I think it was my New Year's resolution 2017. I was like, right, I'm doing stand-up this year. Just once. I'll see how it goes. Like, if it's terrible, great. At least I've done it. Done. And then the first one I did, I just, because I was working with Facts Channel and all the comedians are on that, they were just like, just get into Cherry Comedy. And I did, and he put me on, and yeah, that was it. It was relatively simple to get involved, to be honest. And the first time I did it, I was really afraid I'd forget the material.
Oh, yeah.
So I just told a story, and actually that worked really well because Irish people naturally good at telling stories. Like, and I told the story before, and like it was a funny story, so that was grand. And then the second time was the first time I did like actual kind of a set piece, and I wrote it on my hand and stuff, and I managed to remember it. And I found the second time a little bit harder than the first, because the first time they make this big deal about how it's your first time, and everyone's like, oh, well done, and then everyone's like like do you know, like really supportive. And then the second time I did it, they didn't say like this is only your second time ever, so I think everyone was like, bitch better be good now.
Yeah.
and like it went okay, but it
went really well. I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I mean, I had never thought about doing. Well, I mean, I've thought about doing stand-up. Do you think about everything? But like, I never thought shitheads like me would just walk in and just get to do stand-up, right? With no, like, when you told me to email Dwayne, I was like, oh yeah, grand. And he just made me back. He's like, yeah, here you are, January 29th. And I was like, no, don't have to provide a driver's license or anything like that. Just turn up.
You don't need a show reel or yeah.
And I thought it was a bit weird. And yeah, a bit like you, I was kind of, geez, now what do I do? Because like once he told me, so I'd gone to see you on like the Monday, and when I saw you,
November though as well.
Yeah,
like you had ages build up to yours.
Yeah, I had about 2.5 months. But when I saw you, because I think I said to you that night, I will never do stand up. I'm never going to do it. That is just too fucking hard. And then 2 days later, you brought me down. And it was like the Thursday I mailed it. I was kind of.
You said to me on the night, you were like, fair play. I'd never had the balls to do that. And immediately I was like, yeah, you would. And I was like, immediately in the back of my head, I was like, well, he's tempted. And then I was like, maybe if I keep at him. And I was like, oh, you would? No, you'd be brilliant. You totally should. And then think about 2 days later, you finally cracked and you were like, fuck it, I'll do it.
I think, so it was like on the Wednesday I was in work, and I told that story about fucking Roy doing the ballet, and it was kind of, people were like just laughing away, so I was like, oh, maybe I could. And then I went and I kind of penned it down a small bit, and I was kind of going, oh yeah, I can get something out of this.
Yeah.
Not thinking like, yeah, you're right. So the first time you do it, they do the whole build up. For anyone watching this, like, it's actually, I didn't think it was as hard as I thought it would be.
No, I thought it would be much worse. Yeah.
Way worse. Now I spent the 2 months like, pricking around, changing the jokes, and of course, the first time you think of something, it's funny. But then a week later, it's not funny anymore.
It's just,
yeah, it's like reading the fucking book. You just kind of go, shit.
Yeah.
So when I decided then that I was going to do it, started writing the shit down, and when I went up and I practiced a lot on my own, just kind of over and over again. My brother-in-law James, I used to ring him and kind of go, oh, I'm thinking about this line, and you know, stuff like that.
He'd either talk you off the ledge or be like,
yeah, exactly. There was one. He was like, no. I don't know. He goes, no.
Use it for the next one.
yeah.
Go for it.
So what I did eventually kind of go to turn up. I had it all in my head. I walked into the city because you all met in Fallon Barnes. He had some food. I met you there, and I was playing it over and over in my head all day, and it was all absolutely fine until the moment before I went on stage, and then I couldn't fucking remember anything, and it was just like this total blank. And I was like, just get the first sentence out. And it's a bit like,
and then it starts coming back to you. Then it
oh yeah, then you can like because you get that first laugh, right?
Yeah.
And it was weird because it's a bit like I've never done like I've only ever done one speech before, which is when my brother got married. I did the dad speech because my dad had passed away at the time. So I did that speech, and I remember I was shitting at the time. And one of the guys had said to me in work, Ed, a friend of mine, he just kind of goes, as soon as you say the first line, everyone's there. Like, it's a fucking Monday night, and people have paid it €5 in, right? No one's there to give you a shit, right? Everyone's well. The Erasure gig was cancelled. And all the fans from the Erasure gig I was like, oh, these guys could be fucking. But it was kind of once you got that first laugh, like it's easy street then. Yeah, you're kind of. Now I did forget some of the stuff, and when I rewatched the video back, like I was nervous. Like that's why I was cursing to fill the space. And a couple of people had commented that, and it was when I watched that, and a couple of people had said to me about like the amount of bad language I used. That's when I decided, okay, I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
Because I'm like...
You want to do it even better,
Yeah, I just want to kind of give it another go, maybe not be so nervous about like the kind of build up to it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And try all the jokes that I was told not to do.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I totally know what you mean because there was some places in your set like where the cursing just made it 10 times funnier, and then there was places where you were kind of just saying it just
I forgot the next line. I was like, fuck. What's the next line?
Yeah, no, because when my first thing, I was under the impression sort of that I was like, right, I have to fill the silence, so if they're not laughing, I have to fill that silence. Mm-hmm. And so whereas I wasn't really cursing, but I was going or like I was making those kind of noises to fill the gaps if I couldn't remember what I was going to say next. But my friend Laura Byrne actually, and she performs there quite a lot. She was there. Were you there on Monday night?
Which Monday night?
The Facts Comedy Night, the last one we went to, there was like a load of Facts comedians from the YouTube channel were performing, and she was performing. She's fucking brilliant. You have to see her live. But anyway, she gave me the advice on the night I first did it. She was like, next time you go up there, she was like, embrace the silence.
Yeah, you said that to me, but I was too panicked to do it.
Yeah, I never would have done it on the first night. You're never going to be able to do it on the first night. And it's only really in the third one that I kind of got it. That there was once or twice where I gave it an extra beat, and I was like, "Oh, that feels really good." Like I should do that.
The difference in your second and third was amazing. Like, I mean, I'm not just saying this to fucking blow smoke your ass, but like your third one was fucking because that third one was a bit weird because it was the all female
all
lineup.
Ladies, yeah.
And it was like, I mean, I just thought that was like just every one of the fucking comedians that turned up that night was actually really, really fucking good. But the difference between the night that I first saw you, which was your second night, and that night, you were just so much more fluid. Like you were. I
was so much more nervous on the second time. Yeah.
Oh really?
I don't know why, but yeah, on the third one I was much happier. Even though I was on a bigger stage, like I don't know, less nerves. The second time I was still really nervous, and that's why it was a bit jilted. And it hadn't flowed as in the writing of it. You know what I mean? Like So I'd written down like this one goes into this one goes into this one, but it wasn't kind of as natural as that story because they were all related to each other. It was all about sex and abortion and stuff. So it was all flowing sex and abortion. So it was all flowing one into the other. If you get me? Yeah. Yeah, and I'd probably practice
sex and abortion all flowing in one into the other. I think you just wrote your opening joke for the next one.
But I started writing that set immediately after I saw you. It was actually on the way home in the car. I started like coming up with stuff on the way home. After watching you that time, so I was like, I actually have to do it again, and then I just started thinking stuff.
Because yours is kind of like, because mine was like 3 stories, so it was very easy to kind of. And what I was really nervous about was how I was going to tie them all back in together, because I would naturally just like
Move on.
Bullshit. Well, I'm in bullshit. I just tell stories and it's like constantly.
Yeah.
So the first time I wrote the story about like Roll doing ballet, I was like, oh, I'll just tell this story and it'll be fine. I told it, and I just.
Just for context, that's his daughter.
I have a daughter, yeah. So part of my set was to take the piss out of her ballet classes, and it's. Oh, she's gonna hate me when she grows up and sees that video.
Wait, you don't put that video on the internet. It's just on your phone. It's fine.
Oh, my family have it. I'll piss somebody off eventually. Who just fucking send it to her. But yeah. So when I first did it and timed it, it took like 15 minutes because I was just like bullshitting and yeah.
And you had to learn to take it right down. Because
the man said to me like 5 minutes. I thought, I don't know. I guess to tell you it's 5 minutes so you don't die on stage for 20.
Yeah.
So and then I was like,
yeah, they let you go to. They probably let you go to 7 before they start like doing this down the back. Do you know?
Oh, I see. That was the bit I was most worried about was timing it because I didn't want to. I was trying to give off a particular persona of deadpan.
I'm not fucked. Like,
I'm not fucked at anything. And I was like, so I'm not gonna look at my clock. I'm gonna watch. No. And like loads of times I didn't need notes. It was just like it was going to be 3 stories that would all just roll into one together. But then I was like, oh, I want to tie this one back so the fucking whatever it was, the dance recycle area and people playing darts and just all that kind of shit.
Oh, stop! That was so funny.
When I tried to tie that back together, I was kind of going, okay, now it feels right. But then when I was on the stage, I was like, there's no clocks anywhere. I was like, oh fuck, just balls right through it. So because the last thing you said to me was embrace the silence, and I was like, I don't have time for fucking silence. I need to get through this, or I'm gonna get the shepherd's hook off the fucking stage. Yeah. But I think that the next time I go back up, because a lot of my.
And also, did you allow in that practice time? I assume not. You didn't allow time for laughs. That was one thing I didn't think to do either. In the first time I went,
but I've already known it laugh.
Like next time you're practicing it, like pause a beat where you expect maybe a laugh, and it allows you to better time your set. Because if you bomb through it and then people are laughing, you could end up going 2 minutes over. If
I tried to do that. The problem was that when I got up and started talking on stage, I was like, mixing sentences up, or I was adding little bits in or dropping things out. So I was kind of by the end of it, by the time I was getting to the end of it, because it ended just all of a sudden, which kind of also pissed me off, which is another reason I wanted to do it again. That wasn't the way I wanted it to end. I wanted to kind of have a more fluid kind of. Ending to it, whereas mine was like dead. Oh, I'm done. My 5 minutes are over. Just walked off the stage like a fucking idiot.
No, it's totally the persona you were doing. So I thought you did that on purpose, but that's fair enough. Like you genuinely thought you did that on purpose, but yeah, I can see why you'd want to go again.
Yeah, well, there's also and I'd like to try all the stuff that I could. So when I went back then as well, like I'd taken out like a load of jokes.
That happened to me in the third one as well. Just by accident, I just skipped a whole section in the centre.
And then I was like, I could use all this shit again.
Yeah.
Like I had a ton of shit in there. Like I'm glad I set this out the way it was because I had a load of shit in there slagging off Northern Ireland, and like all those Erasure fans were all from the north. Like that could have gone to fucking shit very quickly, right? Whatever Johnny Cole turning on me. Imagine like 20 pissed off Erasure fans storming the stage to knock the bollocks out of me.
I love when you say 20. Don't be ashamed. It's only 20 of them.
Whatever with them fucking turned up.
Johnny Cole is our friend from the north that we slag quite a lot.
We love him though.
Just for context. Yeah.
So.
We should use that stuff again because, again, I was talking to one of the Bax guys, Houlihan. She was there on the night of the all girls night. And I was kind of saying to her, like, I'd love to do that again because I didn't do it 100% the way I wanted to. Like, I know I could, the stuff I did well, I could do again better, and the bits that I forgot, I'd like to include. And she was like, yeah, no, you don't have to come up with a new set every time you perform. That's insane. You just, like, reuse bits and, like, add stuff in or take stuff out or whatever works you keep and whatever doesn't.
Keep going to get a cult following base, and then you kind of go, can't repeat the same shit now.
Yeah. She's basically like, you say it until you have it 100% perfect, and then you start over.
Oh, I hadn't thought about it. I planned to do like whole.
You're planning a whole new set?
Yeah, well, I had enough stuff left over, and there's stuff that I really wanted to use, and
definitely use the stuff you left out. Anyway.
And stuff that's become more relevant since. One of the things I was worried about was with the stories I told were very general kind of stories. What I was worried about with so I had some DUP stuff written there, and was but I'd written it in November, and I was I cut it really early because I was like, oh fuck, who knows, that could happen by January. Fucking Brexit could be cancelled or anything. So I was kind of I'll just better just stick to stuff that's kind of general. But I mean, we're waiting to find out when our next when we get to do it again. But it would be because we're doing the Springboks thing. Yeah,
so our tag rugby team they were planning 3 fundraisers to fundraise for the players that get to go play for Ireland in the World Cup because it's self-funded. So we're just trying to help them get there. and I basically said, can I do one of the fundraisers, and can it be tag rugby players do stand-up comedy in front of other tag rugby players about tag rugby? It's gonna be like the easiest gig ever.
Oh, do you think? I think it's gonna be way harder.
It's gonna be easy because I've already thought of stuff. I'm like, that would fucking kill everyone. I was like, just
we play with a lot of assholes.
We are.
Hi assholes, you know who you are.
But like, I'm like, well, as long as everyone comes like knowing like they're probably gonna get slagged off, like I think it'd be really easy gig. Like I have a few jokes in mind that will just kill the room.
I wrote it out really quickly actually when you said first we were going to do it at like an afternoon, it was like a Friday afternoon or something like that, so I just started penning shit down, right, and I wrote it all out, and then I was kind of going grand, and I was like, oh, there's going to be like people there who are going to start heckling for the crack, or
well actually that's probably true,
and then you're just because like the thing about doing the stand up for the first time, like nobody heckled, right? I mean,
because nobody would heckle the first time.
Exactly, yeah. You got better shit to do on a Monday night to go down and heckle somebody, but at that it could be. So I'm actually more. Should I have to forget?
I never thought about that.
We should put this out after in case some of the newbies actually the new newbies.
They get ideas. Yeah, no, but like there's certain things that anytime I was writing a thing before, because tag rugby is such a big part of my life and I fucking play 4 days a week. So quite a lot of my spare time is just organised around when I have tag rugby. But like when I was writing the sets, there'd be jokes that I'd want to put in, and then I'd be like, oh, no one's going to get that because no one fucking plays tag rugby. Do you know what I mean? Like, so like I think there's such easy jokes, like quota jokes, or like things that tag rugby players immediately would get, find funny, and like get the inference behind them, but you just stuff you cannot use in actual stand-up. So I'm excited to kind of slag off a few people basically. I'm just going to slag off everyone because I'm emceeing. So I'm going to slag off everyone when I'm introducing them. I'm going to slag off all the teams. Like,
actually, that's
I actually put on the event, bring a sense of humour because everyone is fair game. Just to make sure that everyone's on the same page.
Leave your fucking sensitivities at the door. Actually, that's actually the weirdest thing about the stand-up is the emceeing. I would find really fucking hard.
Yeah, and what I find is that everyone that I've been to, the MC has gotten up seemingly to me kind of unprepared.
But I suppose,
as in they get up and they just riff off the audience and they don't really have prepared stuff. Now that I'd find quite difficult. Like I am emceeing on our on our fundraiser night, but I won't be getting up. Well, also because you know the people, you can't really riff off. What do you work at? No, I'm going to be getting up with pre-prepared stuff. I wouldn't be able to just get up and wing it with, because the last one we went to, when I went to the Fax Night, George Fox was emceeing. Now he's brilliant, but he just like literally gets up and all his emceeing is like chatting to the audience and making jokes about what they're talking about. Just like couldn't possibly be prepared.
Yeah, that would find it difficult. Like if someone just threw something up randomly, because the couple of nights I saw, like he would say and just. Like you could be you might be talking to a fucking wall. Some people just don't want to be involved, which is also fair enough, I suppose. But don't fucking sit there as well.
Don't sit in the front, like, don't talk to me. Don't sit in the front then.
But I would find that quite difficult. Like I mean, whatever about being prepared and going over your shit like a million times and being able to talk your way through it. Because like a lot of the stuff I'm doing, like now I've got like a book where I just every time I hear something that's a little bit off, either like on the news or somebody says something in the office. Yeah, I'll write down like one sentence and then I'll think about it, like I'll read it down later on, I'll kind of go, okay, this is what I was thinking, and I'll just put in all these notes. So I've got like a book that I started to fill up with shit. So that's, but I find it really easy, because a lot of stuff I would do is just like telling stories. But if someone said something to me, like when I have a few beers, it's easy. When someone says something, you can just fire something back, right? But you don't care about, there's only 2 people around. Like you have to get like 20 people or 50 people to fucking laugh or whatever, without making a total shit at the person who's standing in front. Oh, maybe you're supposed to.
Well, yeah, maybe you could. But no, I totally get what you mean. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I'm doing the same thing with writing that stuff down, and I find it really helpful, because otherwise you just forget. Like you'll think of a zinger and you'll be like, oh, that's amazing, and then if you don't write it down, it's gone. Yeah,
no. I heard a good joke today. Oh shit, it's gone.
Yeah, I used to do that. Well, I still do that with video ideas, but yeah, if I remember a good few times I'd have one just before bed, and I'd be like, that's great. In the morning now, I'll flesh that out. In the morning.
Yeah, it'd be like a week later before you think, oh Jesus, what did I think of?
Sometimes it's never come back to me. But like, I could have had a viral video there, but who knows?
Could have been the making to it, that's gone.
Could have been the making to it.
I might come back to it. Yeah, no, I find it,
What I liked about the first time I did it was I was quite surprised with how much you couldn't see the audience. And this is probably why I haven't changed venue yet, because I know that on Cherry Comedy you can't see, everything's black. And you can only see like really the first row of faces. And actually I feel like that is a lot easier.
Well, I just talked to the darkness.
I talked to the black, exactly, yeah. And this first time I didn't let anyone I knew. I didn't tell anyone I knew. I didn't want anyone I knew to come. And a couple of friends did come and sit down the back kind of like on the quiet. They just didn't let me know beforehand so I wouldn't forget about it. And it was nice to have them there. But the second time when you were there and all the guys came, and I actually told people, it was really nice actually, because I was talking to the darkness and I knew you were down there somewhere, and then like I could hear some of your laughs, like, because I know what they sound like, and then that was actually really like it really relaxed me, do you know?
Yeah, I hadn't, because people had said it to me, because I'd asked a few of the guys from Tag to go, and I told people I was doing it. And then like a good few people turned up.
Yeah, loads turned up actually. Yeah.
And like I was.
You gave about 6 weeks notice, so like there was no excuse to not go.
But I was like, I didn't know how way that'd go in the end, because I was like, oh shit, now everyone, if I die, everyone's gonna know that Neil fucking died on stage. So I was kind of thinking about that way.
I don't think he would have died. I think.
But on the other side, then it was good to have so many friendly faces before you went up. Like everyone was there, turn up early, just kind of going, oh best luck, all the rest of it, kind of. And they were like the usual heads, and you're kind of going, this is actually, these guys are actually fine.
And were you really nervous just before? Because I was really nervous. The second time I did it, the time you came to see me, I was kind of alright. The very first time I did it all day, I was running through the set. I couldn't focus at work, couldn't do anything. The second time I did it, I didn't really worry about it until I got there. But once I got there, the person who was in front of me doing their bit, I was extending in the back on, just give me the fucking microphone already. Just give me the microphone already. Just let me up there, like I want to get it over with, kind of thing, you know.
Well, he did that weird thing with me where he asked. Where he did the whole interviews, we've got a brand new person, first time ever doing it, oh y'all think it's easy, get someone up to fucking tell a joke, and no one will come up, so then he brought the guy up to sing the song, and I was like, and the guy got up and he fucking knocked it out of the park, and I was like, nice one dude, I don't know what the fuck your plan was there, but it didn't work. And all this time this guy is singing this fucking Erasure song, and I'm like forgetting my material. I don't fucking know, I guess so.
There was a guy who was kind of heckling the more experienced comedians before you come on. And he was like really like not too bad, but like you could tell he was kind of getting drunker and possibly gonna get worse. So in order to like neutralize that threat, your man was like, it's not as easy as you think. You sir think you're funny. Do you want to get up here and have a go? And yeah, made him sing a song. Actually, yeah, he smashed it.
And then I had to go immediately afterwards, and I was like, fuck, now what do I do? But
he did shut up though, in fairness to him then after that.
Yeah,
you anyway.
Well, I kind of blocked those guys out of it because they were kind of having their own buzz as well, and just kind of got, oh geez, don't. And I had thought during the week, oh, you should write a response to the first heckle that just shuts it all down.
Yeah.
And of course that was the first thing I forgot. So I was like, oh fuck, now what am I gonna do? I probably should have taken your what you did the first time, which is write the shit in your hand.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out, is that the best way? That was helpful that time. The third time, I had too much material, I think, to put it down to just like 5 points. Because I was going for 7 minutes. Now I think I ended up finishing at 6 because I forgot a big chunk in the middle. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what the best way. I've seen comedians have a notebook or like even just a piece of paper with scribbles on it, or I've seen them write on their hands. I don't know which way is the best way to figure it out.
See, I kind of like even the speech I did for my brother, like I did it all from memory. So I just
did you?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't even have like because the printout you can totally get away with on a speech.
No, I just memorized the whole thing.
Jesus.
But it's just.
So you actually could do that.
But see, I do a lot of presentations and stuff from work, right? So I do this constantly. I talk a lot, so I kind of get used to kind of keeping things in. All I need to remember is like the first word of every paragraph or the first word of every point, then I'm fine. And if there's a flow to it, yeah, no problem at all. And what I ended up doing is I ended up watching a lot of, you know, John Richardson, the comedian, English guy, he's on 8 out of 10 cast and stuff like that. So I love his type of humour, right? And just he's just like I kind of watched a lot to see like how he did it and stuff like that. So and it was more the flow of how he tells jokes. And once I had the flow, I was like, okay, grand, I can remember it now. I know where the stops are, the breaks are, I know where the links back in are, stuff like that. Which would you watch a lot of comedians to see what they do, or are you just like, no, I'm clear, I'm do what I want?
I watch a lot of comedians because I really enjoy watching comedy. But before I did my first stand-up, it was the first night, I watched a video, and I can send it to you. Actually, it's really helpful. I sent it to Fan, who was also on this podcast, and who was thinking about trying stand up, but haven't quite pushed him off the edge yet. I'm still working on him. So it's like, I think it was called How Louis C.K. Tells a Joke. And
we can't use Louis C.K. anymore.
I know we can't use Louis C.K. anymore. I've already had this discussion.
How Harvey Weinstein produces a movie.
Someone today was like, oh, Louis C.K. does a great bit about abortion. Have you seen it? And I was like, no. And they were like, oh, I know we can't use Me Too. I was like, okay. Sweet, I've come to anyway, so yeah, he does actually have a great joke about rape, but now it's not as funny because now it's like, ooh,
not so jokey after all.
It's not so jokey after all. Anyway, but there is a really good video called How Louis C.K. Tells a Joke, and breaks down the structure of how he tells a joke, and like basically it was like he repeats it. You know, he sets it up with this part and then he repeats, and like there's a way in which he repeats stuff that like gets more laughs every time he does it and stuff. That's a really helpful video just for timing and that kind of thing. And then I've got two, for the fundraiser that we're doing, I've got two comedians to actually give people tips on timing and stuff, who don't play a tag, so I'm sure that they will have no clue what the jokes are about, but they'll be able to tell you how to time them.
But they might diversify it a small bit. Are they going to do some stand-up as well?
No.
Oh, okay. Then they won't diversify it at all.
Yeah, no, I haven't asked them. We do have a friend who plays tag with us, who has a comedy improv group.
Karen, yeah.
Yeah, which is called The Good China, and they're going to do...
Check them out. Very good.
They're going to do improv based on each person's stand-up. So they're going to do 10 minutes after each person. And I went to a gig where she did this with like experienced comedians before, and it was so funny.
They are a very good group. I have to admit.
So funny. So that will save the night, like, regardless. Like, even if someone gets up there and dies, like, Karen's group will save it.
So what you're saying is, even if we're all shite,
yeah.
Karen's going to pull this out of the fire.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
No pressure, Karen.
Yeah. So no, the pressure's off you guys. You can be as shit as you want. Jokes.
Here's a question I have for you, right? So I've never really... Well, no, I've been to comedy events before where I've seen... like a mixture, so this kind of 10 minutes, 5 minutes kind of set, right? But I haven't seen a lot of women do stand-up, and I've never gone to a female comedian live, like a headline thing, right? And I know some people have a particular view on male versus female comedians.
Okay.
Do you feel that at all? Is that something that you were even aware of?
Are you asking me, do I think women aren't funny?
No, women are hilarious.
But isn't that the idea?
But do you get that pressure of...
Oh yeah, I feel like if I get up there, I feel like there's a slight sort of I feel like I have to work a little bit harder to get the same laughs, and maybe it's in my head or maybe it's not. But I'll give you an example, right? The second time that I did stand up, which was the time you came to see me, there was the guy before me and the guy after me, right? Were married dudes, like wives. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
And everyone was like. And there was like all these young lads in the front, and I got up there and I was like, planning a wedding makes you a dickhead, and I was like, I had all these like jokey stories about planning weddings, and you know, and then they were kind of in the front like stony face, being like, can't relate. Can't relate to being engaged and planning a wedding. And then the lads got up there and were like, wives and kids, am I right? And they were like, oh my god, he's a genius. And I was just like, for fuck's sake.
Well, I think maybe some guys have, because when I said it to like some people, it was like about, especially the all female night. When I said to people like, oh, I'm going to this all female, and they're like, oh, jeez, you're going to be listening to people talking about vaginas for the whole night.
Yeah.
And it can be a bit like that, but actually,
it can be, yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe people think that female comedy is more personal. I don't know what it is.
I have no idea, because male comedy is quite personal.
Yeah.
There's lots of male comedy about dicks and like about their relationships and stuff. I don't know what it is, but I do feel that like if you go to see a woman comedian and she's great.
Yeah.
And if she's terrible, all women comedians are terrible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the only risk with all female nights, because if it bombs, it's not the fault of the 5 people. It's all women are.
All women. Yeah. So like I went to I went to school, but probably went to secondary school as a female school and a male school beside each other. We were never allowed to look in each other's direction.
No way, okay.
But do you know the comedian Aisling B?
Yes, I know.
Yes,
over,
so
yeah.
she was in my year in school, so she's from
In
Kildare.
over the wall.
Yeah, over the wall, we could never look. But I think she was in my sister's class actually. But it's just because she's from the same like town as me. I've kind of followed her and I've followed all the kind of stuff she does, and I'm really impressed. Not because she's a female and has made it, just that she's made it in general.
Yeah.
But I'd love to kind of, but me doing just kind of go like, how was it? Not that I ever think that I'm gonna push it all the way to like do the shit she's doing, but like just. I'd love to know what it was like, or how more difficult is it for female comedians even to... Like, you watch all those panel shows now that are, like, there's 15 of them every fucking night on, like, Channel 4 or whatever. But, like, they're, like, 95% dudes. And is that representative? Are 95% of comedians dudes? Do women find it harder to get up and do stand-up?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I do think that there are more male comedians... I do, but I think that now there's more and more females coming into it. More and more women are getting up there and getting into it. And yeah, I suppose it's just about time. Again, I don't know because I'm not really a comedian myself, if you know what I mean. But like, I get the impression that there is more and more female comedians. Like, I'm in a group on Facebook, women who want to do comedy. And there's like a couple hundred in it, you know what I mean? So it's just about... There's so many more established acts, I think, at this point that are male. So it's just... You just have to work, basically, to get in there. And it is becoming better. And I loved being a part of an all-girls night. I thought that was amazing. Yeah, no, it was pretty cool. It was actually pretty cool. And there are places like Cherry Comedy that do try to get it, like, even. Yeah. But also, it might be a part of it... This is interesting. Part of it might be that it might be easier, for some reason, to convince lads to do it. Because for this fundraiser I'm organising, no ladies would say yes. Until I bullied my friend Claire into it. But none of the other ladies, that they were like,
you shouldn't say bullied her. Edit that bit.
Okay, I convinced her to do it. Nicely. But yeah, and whereas lads were like, yeah, fuck, go on, I'll do it. Fuck,
yeah.
Yeah.
The lads are more likely to drop out.
That's also true as well, you're right, actually.
That's a flaky fuckers.
Yeah, you're right, yeah, probably. So I don't know. It's interesting.
What do you think? Genuinely, like, how much do you actually want to get out of it, though? Would you stay doing it? Because like before I did it, I was like, I'm never going to do it. And then as soon as I did it, I was like, I want to do it again. And now I'm kind of, the more kind of shit I put down, the more I'm kind of going, oh, I could get this, like, I could do, like, even like, so obviously we've done Whelan's, we've done Cherry Comedy, and then I started looking at like other places around.
Yeah, you started looking at the venues. I was like, I'm not ready to leave the venue.
I own the
venue. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've got my residency here now. Tom Jones. Yeah. But like, it's just, I don't know, I just kind of had to look around. And then actually, weirdly, when I looked around, I saw some people who I knew who were doing stand-up.
No way.
Yeah, who didn't...
You didn't realise
I didn't realise doing it. But like, I was kind of going, oh... And plus, I get to recycle the jokes maybe.
Yeah, you move around a bit, yeah. But, although Cherry Comedy is fairly different audiences, so you can still recycle some of your stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so it probably wouldn't be anything I'd ever see myself making my full-time living from, put it that way. But I could definitely see it as, like, a fun hobby that I do semi-regularly. It's, like, I'll see how the next one goes, but how excited I was after I came off the last time to do it again. Yeah. Like, if that sort of feeling continued, I could see myself doing it semi-regularly, like. Oh, if I'm not playing in the stadium by a year, I'm going to be fucking... I'll be devastated. That's what it is. Maybe they're not ambitious enough.
Crow Park 2019, you know, I'll go for the June time frame, so, you know, people can be outside and be warm. No, I don't know. I'd have to do it a couple more times at least, and just kind of, until the night comes where someone throws something at me or someone doesn't laugh, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
I was at one. Next. The facts one I was at, actually, Davey Riley was emceeing from, you might know him from the facts videos, but at the very end, there'd been a guy sort of getting a little bit leery down the back, and then at the very end, he wasn't emceeing, he was headliner, sorry. So by the time it got to the headliner, the very last person, this guy was a bit leery, and at one point he shouted, I want to heckle now, or something like that, and then Davey just stopped and goes, okay, what do you want to say? And your man goes,
Way to take a head, pal.
Davey just goes, you probably should have something prepared there, shouldn't you? And everyone was pissed. Your man was just rude. And then he shut the fuck up after that. Like, have nothing. Like,
actually, the night I did it, there was a guy who was on after me who was absolutely amazing, and I must find his name. It was the Indian guy who grew up in Belfast.
Oh, he was
so fucking funny, man. His shit was absolutely amazing. But there was two dudes in the middle who were just chatting to each other until the sound engineer guy just came down and went, just fuck off. Just fuck off. You don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Just leave. And the two of them, fair play to them, they did fuck off. But I was just kind of going, why would you just go and sit there?
It makes it really hard, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe people just kind of think of jokes and kind of going, this reminds me of the time when, and I'm going to have a chat about it now. I don't know. But, I'd like to give it a couple more tries and just see. Like, cause I'd say that first night you did it, you're on the buzz of doing the first night. Yeah. All your fucking mates are there. I mean, if it was a totally cold audience and you knew nobody, because you did it with nobody there the first time, which is fucking ballsy enough as well. Yeah. But like, I did give it a couple more goes. I don't think.
No, I definitely want to go again. I think you should definitely go again.
If you're going to get the same night.
Yes.
If you could do the same night, actually.
If we do get our same night, I will put it on all my social media and we'll promote it and we'll push it out.
Yeah.
Properly. Don't be too excited about it. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
No problem, enjoyed it.
Again, Neil, my first repeat guest. Remind everyone where to find you on the internet.
You can find me at Your Houlihan on Instagram and the other one, Twitter.
Or performing in Cherry Comedy.
Or performing Cherry Comedy. or any comedy club that will have me.
Around Dublin, yeah. You're an expert now. Now, what's the word? Professional is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, I need an agent.
Check us out on SoundCloud and YouTube. Check out the Patreon. Thank you very much for watching. See you next week.
See you later, guys.
Bye.